guys, I got selected into the Gender Equitable Storytelling Producing course. So, I'm going to be gisting you everything and how I got into the program because I'm super excited. So, welcome to another exciting program of Stars Behind the Stars. My name is Aniswa Madimina, Creative Director, AY Studios. So, on this episode, I'm going to be gisting you how I got the application, how I got selected, and how the training so far has been. And it's still ongoing anyway because it's going to be a 3-month program, and I was really super excited when I got selected. So first, how I got the application. So I got the application from a senior colleague who just sent it to me, and the moment I opened it, I saw Gender Equitable Storytelling. I was like, this is one of Genius of goals, because goal 5 happens to be gender equality, and that is something we practice at AY Studios, and that is something that resonates with what I do as a media person, and I was really interested. So I opened the application. I feel it was from Creative Economic Practice in CCO, and I was like, God, this is huge. So while I was feeling it, I was hoping and praying that God, I should be selected. But you know what they say, or what the Bible say, or is it really just say that says God does not qualify? How did that word go? God does not qualify those they call. Qualify those they call. However, Aisha was praying that I should be selected, and boom, I applied, and I was hopeful. And I think April 21st, yeah, I got the first mail that in that period, let me even give you people a quick gist. In that period, I applied for 3 different programs. Really, one was MTN producing course, the other one was Stage 23. I can't really remember, but I know I was really applying for different things, including this one. So I got 2 rejection. But I got 1 success. So when I first got the mail that your application has been reviewed, blah blah, I was very excited. Like, okay. So the next step was join the community. There was going to be a 2 days virtual program, and they were asking us to join a community. So I said, okay. Though I'm not based in Lagos, I'm based in Benin, I still joined the community anyway. And the virtual program happened May 12th and May 11th and May 12th. It was a 2 days virtual program, and it was the most insightful, interesting 2 days program ever, because in that program we talked deep more on gender equitable storytelling, why it is very important for you to wear your gender lens when you're producing your stories. Because way back, if you look at the stories we watch while growing up, we always made to believe that mother-in-laws are wicked. If you are a young widow, your hair must be shaved. Women were made to go through a lot of rigorous things in all of this movie, and the way of life movie mirrored those things to you. But when you watch movie, you start meditating and absorbing those things. So in that 2 days virtual, they wanted us to see a different aspect of telling your story when you wear your gender lens. Everything bad must not always happen to a woman. I am not saying it should happen to a man anyway, but we always say that, of course, a father-in-law could also be a very wicked person who says a man must not also mourn his wife when the wife died. This kind of stereotype that we should change, and it was the best 2 days ever. And after the virtual, I was really saying, oh God, this virtual can be this interesting. Just imagine what the resident program would be like. So after the 2 days virtual, we're still waiting. There was no mail from them, and I had already given up, like maybe they have selected whoever they want to select. So fast forward to, I think, June something thereabouts, I got a mail for the interview. Just for the interview, I was really excited already, because I said for these people to even consider me for interview, it means my application was already on the go. So we started off, and that interview was supposed to be 20 minutes. I had to go and be reading. I had to go and be praying. Like, I even fast. And that is just a joke anyway. So, but I was really open. I was like, what would they ask? What would they do? All my mind was really, really on the program. And the day of the interview came, I was all set, and I was allocated 20 minutes. Guess what, guys? We spent only 3 minutes. And after the interview, they just asked a basic question of share a real life experience of what happened on your production and what did you do as a producer. And I really shared, I have a lot of experience to share. But one that was very particular for me was the day I cried on set. I cried on set a lot because the production wasn't going as planned. I went quietly to cry, and after that I called everybody back, and you know what, I'm still the producer of this production. Can we go back to the drawing table and let's re-plan? And the next day the production became a success and we wrapped. So I shared that, and they were like, okay, tell us more on working with women. And that is something I do most of the time. I started from community theater, going to different villages to perform, work with a lot of women. We provide psychosocial support, life skills and everything. And they said, okay, fine, and we'll get back to you. As soon as they were just done, I just told my colleague that was sitting beside me, I said, they will not pick me. I didn't speak well. He said, no, you spoke well. I said, no, I did not speak well. I was like, I don't want to cry, but anyway, it is what it is. And fast forward to 2 weeks later, I'm going to share the screenshot of the congratulation messages I got and how I was invited to the program, the gender equitable storytelling, the accommodation they were going to provide. They were even going to provide us with cab to take us from the airport to the hotel, flight ticket, and everything was all expense paid trip. Yeah. And that is how we got here. So now let's get into the training proper, and let's talk about the settling in, the accommodation. I'll give the accommodation 5/5 because it was superb. The lunch, everything was okay. The security they provided, everything was super. And the training venue itself was excellent. Now let's go to the training itself proper. So let's talk about day one. Day one, I did some videos. I got up early, looking up bright, looking up beautiful, baby girl things. Because I was really, really super excited. And we got into the class. We had breakfast by 8, and this is the first time I was experiencing a different teaching mechanism. We were sitting down. The facilitator was sitting down. Isioma Osije. She was a fantastic facilitator. She was just relaxed, and we started with introduction. I'm going to be sharing a clip of that video with you guys. You're going to see how we all did our introduction, and the training started proper. So we started with gender equitable policy and audience research. Now, this gender equitable policy is some policies that production, so luckily Junior Sub and our studios have some of this policy in place. Like policy of, as a woman, you should be taking your 3 months maternity leave, not working when you're pregnant or when you're sick, some policies that allow women to be flexible, because some of these policies, they kind of restrain women, allow them to excel in some production. So like some producer will tell you, oh, I don't want a pregnant woman on my set. Why? What is wrong? As long as she's healthy, she says she can do it and she's fit, there is nothing wrong, And if a woman is carrying a baby, oh, no, I don't want a baby on my set. I don't want it. These kind of things, they kind of like limit women and their strength. So this kind of policies should be put in place, especially in production houses. And amazing thing, when studio practice some of these things. And we also look at audience research. Know what your audience wants, find a niche. You want to talk about morals, focus on morals. You want to talk about faith, focus. Just find something that resonates with you and your audience. And that is why a lot of time people say, oh, I don't watch this movie. I don't watch this movie because, some people like action movie, there must be gunfight, there must be battle, there must be drug lord, because that is what resonates with them. So you look for your audience and keep up doing what your audience want. And we also talked about story ideas and telling of stories. In short, that was my favorite aspect of the class because I am a fantastic storyteller. Yes, I give it to myself. Yeah. because looking back when I was very young, I tell stories a lot. I listen to stories a lot, so I love to tell stories from the beginning to the end. So developing stories, there's nothing really new you want to talk about in this industry that somebody has not produced. But what gives you advantage is the element you bring into your production, the fresh ideas, the way you tell your story, the techniques, the angle you're bringing into. So all of this gives you fresh ideas of your story. And when you're telling your stories, make sure it is what's relatable. It is stories that people can feel. And one of those stories we used an example was love in all world, because everybody, every young guy, every young boy wants Odogo Parara kind of lifestyle. You know, you want someone to pet you, you want someone to. So it's a very, very relatable story. And another story we also used was Straw. Straw is a relatable story because every single mother goes through some of this trauma, and they live in denial that, you know, they don't want to accept the terms and conditions that life is presenting to them. So telling your story, the major ingredient, it must be what? Relatable. It must resonate with the people that is what? Watching it. And day 2, we begin again. And you know, day 2, we've started making friends. I have started making friends. I have Mina, I have my roommate, I have Adeola, I have Abigail. So we started making friends, and of course all the paparazzi take pictures, and of course had breakfast, and the class began proper. And day 2, we're looking at budgets, monitoring, finance, and of course, and that was done by Buki Adeolu. Amazing woman. Thank you so much for, in short, as a matter of fact, she broke everything down and installed it into our head. Yes, because when it comes to budget, you know, we always assume, okay, producer, take money, just distribute, okay, cast this, director this, you know. But in production, you actually need a production manager, and that is one tip I'm giving out to you for free. Yes, you need to have a production accountant. Yes, someone that is going to sit with you from the beginning of the project till the end. Someone that you're going to, like, you know, you need 5 naira. Explain why you need 5 naira. Somebody that is going to be accountable for your production, so that you don't run at a loss when it comes to your production. Even though it's a small budget production, just get someone to help you manage your funding. And it is very essential that you retire all of this, and money for production should stay for production. You know, oftentimes we get distracted, and that is really not going to be helping production. And often, I don't know, a lot of people, like our word, some persons believe that as a producer, you're supposed to save money. No, as a producer, you're supposed to spend money on your production so that you have an excellent report, an excellent movie to see. And that is a take-home for everybody. So that was very interesting session, you know, even though it has to do with mathematics, calculating, and it was still very interesting. Thank you, Mama Buki, and it was an amazing session. So the next one was pitching and funding. This was the cocoa, and we have Mr. Chimize that comes in, and he was the one who brought in the project for far from home. Yes. So what are your investors looking out for when you want to pitch? So you want to pitch your amazing stories, you have already great stories idea, you want to pitch it. There are elements they are looking at for. They are all business people. Whoever wants to invest in your production is a business person. Is looking at what is the return, what is the figures. So don't just come and sell emotion. Oh, my story will change the world. My story is going to bring the cure to cancer. Hello, how much am I getting back? That is the question. So all of these are what your investors are seriously looking at. And Mr. Chimize really did justice in explaining how to pitch and how to go about sourcing for your funding for your next production. And it was really an interesting session. So we also went deeper to talk about type of what? Employment, contract, and this we also practice in Junior Soft very well. We always make sure that all the people that works with us, but the producer, director, they sign non-disclosure agreement form. You know, it is very good to have contract that is binding you, that is binding your what? Your actor. Because in place where there is no contract, both parties can misbehave. and at the end of the day, you are going to suffer for your production. So ensure that even if it's the lowest person you want to get in your production, make sure that person sign your consent form, sign your non-disclosure agreement, and sign something that is binding you, that when I finish your work, your work is 5 days. I'm going to be on set for 5 days, and you are going to lodge me, you're going to provide 2 square meal, you are going to pay me 100,000. Let the person sign. Then at the end of the day, the person will now come and say, no, it's 3 square meal you are giving me. It's 200. You now say, go back to the contract. So that is why it is very important to have contract, so that there will be no buzz on your set. And this was really done, and it was really done by Isioma Osije. She took us on that aspect of what contract, and as well as taxation. Now, I used to believe that as a creative person, you should not be paying tax. But that is a very wrong notion. You should pay tax. Yes, it is for your own benefit as a creative person, especially when you are not coming. There are some grants you will need. There are some funding you will need. They will want your tax clearance. Yes. So in as much as we are hoping that Nigeria government do more for creative entertainment industry, but you as a creative person, as long as you are going to be engaged for any service, and the person tell you, oh, I'm going to be taking tax away from your payment, agree. Let them pay the tax and send you your tax payment slips. And that way you become tax compliance. And that was how we wrapped day 2 up, and it was an amazing session. Enough picture taking. You're going to be seeing all the pictures on your screen. We had so much fun. We started with a script breakdown and, of course, script scheduling. And that was done by Judith Awudu. So for script scheduling, I've not really done that before, because I always have a fantastic PM and director who will always helping me to process that. And in this aspect, it's very important that even as a producer, and that is one thing you should also learn, as a producer, you should learn how to do your script breakdown yourself. And it also helps you to know how your shooting is going to be. So there are some apps that could help. I think I'll drop one in the comment section. Those apps that are going to help you in your script scheduling and script breakdown. So it helps you understand the number of characters that is going to be on set by day. So at the end of the day, you're not bringing everybody to set. So that, okay, you are free, you come on set. Oh, you are free, you are coming. You know, by the time you do your script breakdown, your script schedule, you know, okay, Mr. Hay is going to be on set for 2 days, and you are going to knock out all those sets for him, so that once it's done, he can go. This way, your budget become less, and it will help your overall cost of production. And that was very, very useful tip at the end of the day, and I really had an amazing session. So went on talking about casting and networking. Oftentimes, many of us don't know how to network when we meet all these investors or when we meet other celebrities. We want to bore them with stories. So one tip Madam Judith said, he said, when you meet someone you want to network with, just quickly go about, can I get your contacts? Finish. By the time you now get home, compose an amazing message, you know, highlight what happened at that event. If the person was a speaker, if there was something he said like a keyword, quote it. Oh man, in your keyword, in your keynotes, I like that quote you made. Women are powerful. You know, it was something that resonates with me. Send a message, and you know what? Say thank you. The person may respond, the person may not respond, but give it time. Go to their social network. If they are selling book, buy their book. Send them a mail. Oh, I just got your book. It was very interesting. If it's a movie the person has produced, and you know the person is the EP of the producer and is on cinema, go watch it. Send a screenshot. Oh, amazing movie. I support. I watch. I went to cinema. You know, this way you are always on their face, and that is what Mrs. White will always say. Be intentional. Always be on their faces, and one day they'll just call you and say, oh, I think you do produce it, right? We are come and do this project. And that is how networking and great networking goes. And that is something I really had fun learning. And we talked about casting. So oftentimes, and this is something I'm actually very good at, because when I'm casting, I actually know how to cast young, female, you know, old, you know, look at the body type. So a light man and a dark woman are going to be husband and wife. Fair enough. And they end up giving birth to what kind of children would they give birth? All those kind of skin tone, you know. Look at the character that can deliver your lines. And when you're looking out for celebrities, look at the celebrities that are trending or celebrities that resonate with you. There are some celebrities that some big brands don't want to work with, even though they are very good, because they have a lot of excess baggages. They are trending negatively, and that is not what their brand represents. So if you want to stick to who you are in the industry as a celebrity, or you want to reach out for a celebrity, look at the brand they represent, look at the way they live their life on social media, look at how people accept them. Not just imagine you put Uncle RMD in your movie. Of course, it's going to be loved by everybody. Okay? So also look at the people that get to work. Oh, there was a very good example he made was, I think when they were shooting, is it Omogeto? Then they took Zubby Michael on set. The Northerners love Zubby Michael. Yes, that's amazing how it is. They were liking him. Oh, everybody want to take pictures. And these were all the Northerners. And you are wondering, oh, Zubby Michael, I thought he only does Igbo movie, but no. But it's generally watched worldwide, and those are the kind of people you look out for to cast, because their face kind of going to sell your movies. And the last topic we had for the day and for the 3 days was leadership, talking about leader as a producer, how you should carry your crew members. You know, you should be empathetic. You know, you should have a good listening ear. So, you know, just love everybody. And that actually was a wrap for us on that 3 days. It was an amazing program. I really, really enjoyed every part of it. And the online will continue, though we are not done. And the online session continue. I look forward to it. I want to especially thank Isioma Osije. I want to thank CCO. I want to thank Creative Economic Practice for giving me this opportunity to be exposed. I think this should be my first program ever as a producer. And knowledge is something they say is power, and indeed it has become an eye-opener for me. I want to thank Isimeme White for sharing the opportunity. I want to thank Efemena. I want to thank all my media department team, all the crew that made it possible, that always make me to shine. They are really, really the stars behind the stars. I really want to say thank you to everyone in Junior Sub and NY Studios. And this knowledge, this knowledge that we have grabbed like this, our production is going to be back to back it. Yes, so we're going to be more gender sensitive. We're going to put on our gender lens very well in looking at every stories. And of course, we're going to be producing amazing movies to change the stereotype. So I'm still your girl, your favorite, Adisu Amadi Emina. And I want you to drop your comments, everything you want to say, you know. And for all my friends, all my amazing 20 producers, yes, we're 20 of us from different states. I said it before, and we're going to collaborate. We're going to make plenty movies. So just watch out for these 20 amazing filmmakers. All thanks to CCO. And that is it for today's episode. Bye. See you next time. Stars behind the stars.